Niaje wadau. Once again, welcome back. Random Conversations TV episode 11. Sawa. Tunasonga tukisongaga na tunaendelea zaidi. Leo nataka tuongelee maisha mazee. Sijui ushaika chini hivi ukajiulizaje, what if life was meant to be just as it is? Yaani Mungu akiumba hii dunia, jujalishi ukwewe ni Muislamu, ukwewe unaombanga ng'ombe kama Wahindi, ukwewe ni Mkristo, haijalishi, but kitu hiko ni unaamini kuna Mungu, na kama uamini kuna Mungu, you believe is a supreme being. So back to our conversation. Ushaika chini hivi ukajiambia maybe hii maisha tunaishi ilikuwa meant tuishi tu vile iko, haikuwa meant kuchenjiwa. Nasema hivi kwa sababu binadamu of late tumerealize tuna waste pesa, tuna waste resources na tuna waste time tukitry kuchange maisha. What am I trying to say? Vitu kama for example cancer na magonjwa zenye ziko kina diabetes, hizi long term illnesses, sijui kama tushaika chini kama binadamu tukafikiria maybe we were never meant to eradicate them. Ati tutajaribu kumaliza magonjwa kwa hii dunia ndio binadamu tuishi forever. Ushaistop kujiuliza maybe plan ya Mungu, plan ya Saja, it was that some of these things we go through in this life, the diseases and illnesses and everything, were never meant to be changed. They were meant to be part and parcel of life, just as death is part and parcel of life. Random Conversations TV episode ni 11. Hapa ni mali tunaongeleaga vitu watu wataki kuongelelea, vitu controversial, vitu society nataka to turn a blind eye to. I go by the name DJ Nefas, and once again karibuni sana. Like we were saying, some of the things in this life that human beings spend lifetimes wasting resources, money and time trying to change. Have we ever stopped and asked ourselves, maybe it was never meant for us to change these things? It was meant for us to live with these things. Diseases like cancer, HIV, stroke, diabetes. We spend so much time in life trying to get permanent cures and such. But have we ever stopped and asked ourselves, if we got the cure for every other disease in this world, if we even got a way to ensure that every human being can live forever, have you ever stopped and asked yourself, how would life be? Imagine if no one was dying. Already right now in the world, we have so many people. Most of us have no jobs. Most of us don't even have places to live. Most of us are struggling, living with relatives. Some of us are even on the streets. Now imagine a scenario where we are continuing to give birth and give birth and give birth, but there are no deaths. There has to be an equalizer in this life. That's my point. So instead of wasting time, spending resources and money trying to get cures, trying to reach immortality for human beings, we need to understand one thing. Life was not meant to be immortal. Everything has a time and a season. And if there is birth, there has to be death. That is the equilibrium of life. So personally, I believe instead of wasting money and resources trying to find cures and trying to find ways that human beings can live forever, some people are even trying to do something called cryogenesis. For those of you that don't know, cryogenesis is a science whereby they're trying to make sure that you can freeze your human body. Like now myself, I freeze my body. I'm put in a fridge for like 10, 15, 20, 30 years. After 30 years, they try to bring me back so I continue living life. So their idea is to try to make sure that the human lifespan is larger. But you can never go against nature. You can never go against God. So instead of wasting money trying to do these things that are impossible, why don't we spend that money and try to help the people who are suffering, the hungry people of the world, those who cannot even access money to buy basic medicine for things like a flu. We all know flu has no medicine, but it has some suppressant medicines, you see. So instead of focusing on helping the people in the world who cannot really help themselves, we are here spending resources trying to ensure that we live forever. The rich people of this nation, sorry to say, have already polluted, not even this nation, of this world, have already polluted the world so much, such that some people like Elon Musk are trying to colonize Mars. So my point is this. So now, since you've already destroyed Earth enough, now you want to move and go and live on Mars. God did not create you to live in Mars. And he had reasons for that. There's a reason why human beings don't live there. So he's spending billions making rockets to travel to space, to try and live there, instead of spending those billions and enjoying the life that we have. My belief is this: the amount of years that God gave you once you were born are enough for you to enjoy it and live a fulfilling life. And when it is your time to go, that's why we say farewell. People have tried time and again, but no one has succeeded. You can never change God's plan. You can never change the universe's plan by trying to be immortal, trying to get cures for diseases like cancer. Even if you try and get the cure for cancer, another disease will come after that. And what are you going to do about it? Remember, it's very ironical that we're living in a world where people are trying to live forever. People are trying to find solutions for diseases and such so they can live longer. But funny thing, the same people are also creating diseases in laboratories. Like, I strongly believe COVID-19 was a plan and a hoax. There are people who benefited from it greatly, and there are those that suffered from it. At the end of the day, the rich people of this world will never want to share their riches with the rest of us. They'll use things like religion, politics, to try and make sure that the poor remain poor, while the rich continue living a good life. So instead of wasting resources, time, money, trying to achieve immortality, trying to find cures to diseases forever, stop and ask yourself, maybe it was part of God's plan that we have these diseases, that we have life as it is, that you die at a certain point and your life is gone, so that there's a balance in life. We can't all live forever. So let's stop trying to change that which has been put by God. That which you cannot change, learn to live with it. Sorry to say, most of us have had relatives, most of us, even maybe some of us, have had chronic or even do have chronic illnesses and are living with them forever. I'm not here to try to make you feel bad, but I'm here to try to tell you that it is no use trying to waste money, trying to get a cure and a solution forever. Yet, you can still die in many other ways. You might get the solution to cure your illness, but the next day, as you're crossing the road, a car hits you and you're dead. You didn't solve anything. Death is inevitable. So let's stop trying to change life as it was meant. Let's live it as it was meant to be lived. Stop wasting your time trying to live forever. It's not possible. Instead of wasting your time and energy trying to live forever, use that time and energy and enjoy the time and the years that you have in this world. Random Conversations TV, DJ Nefas, episode 11. And in other news, let us talk about war. Let us bring the conversation closer home. We have talked before about the Russia-Ukraine war that has not ended now in its third year. A few days ago, we were in the first week of another war, Iran versus Israel. This was long overdue. And as you can see, it is intensifying at a rate that is even quicker than the Russia-Ukraine war. Now, Israel does have its allies like the US and Britain and what have you, but equally, Iran does have its allies, China, North Korea, Russia, and this is the reason why the allies of either side are a bit skeptical in how they assist in the war, because they don't want a full-blown war. But sometimes a full-blown war is inevitable. I have said this time and again, we had World War I. They came up with an organization to try and ensure there'll never be a world war again. It didn't really work because there was World War II. So what does this tell you? Human beings will never learn and will never change. There are always those of us who are very radical, and if they don't get what they want, they don't care the cost at which they get it. And this is why there's a war. I want you guys to know one thing. In every war that you see and that you hear about, there is always someone benefiting from it. Remember, there are people who have been building tanks, people who have been building missiles, people who make guns and bullets and everything and even sell them. Whenever there is war, these people stand to benefit greatly because they will sell their merchandise, they'll sell bullets and everything. But at what cost? Destroying of buildings and everything. At the same time, speaking of destruction, after the war is over, when we go back into recovery mode, there are still those who will gain. those that get the contracts to do the rebuilding, and many other people in the government. So let me give you an example. In the Israel-Iran war, if Iran wins, definitely there are people who stand to benefit from Israel's downfall. For example, the opposition. If you're an opposition leader and you've been fought so much by the government and you've been looking for a way to get rid of this government, you will definitely support whoever is fighting your country, so that when they win, they put you in as the leader of the country. So in every war that you see, remember there's always someone who is gaining. Many will lose, but many will gain. I don't understand how someone is seated in an office with a suit, having lunch, enjoying a good time, their family maybe even on vacation far away from their home country because there's war. But this same person who is a president gives a command that the army should go and fight. Soldiers die and everything, but still the war goes on. But those who started the war, they never get hurt. They continue living normal lives. But those who are given the commands go to the ground and fight, lose their lives. Some of them are fathers, some of them are mothers. They will die and leave their family like that, suffering. Why? Because you took a command and you were sent to war. Sometimes, even if you're a leader, a military leader and such, you need to be careful of the orders you're receiving and how you're executing them. At the end of the day, one way or another, it's going to backbite you. So let's live in love, not war. But at the same time, we need to be careful, because the war may be between Iran and Israel, Russia and Ukraine, and what have you, involving their allies. But one way or another, whenever there is war in the world, it's going to affect the rest of the other countries. How? For example, the shipping routes. Some of the goods that we get from these countries, the shipping routes will no longer be accessible. The flight routes, like now for example, there's a no ban to fly over the Iranian airspace in Israel as well because there's war. So how will you get your goods? If you're a business person that travels, a frequent flyer, how will you fly when there's war? So inevitably, the ripple effect of war will affect many people. This is Random Conversations TV. I go by the name DJ Nefos, episode 11. This is where we talk about controversial things, matters that society wants to turn a blind eye to. Big up yourself.